Welcome back, everybody, to the Weekly Insider. Week's 8 recap, correct? Okay, I'm thinking this. Okay. Week 8 recap. Very interesting week. A lot has happened, and we are getting... right now, as recording, the trade deadline ended, and nothing happened.
Very quiet. My guess is
Super
because... Quiet. I'm going to guess it because offseason was relatively quiet, too.
Yeah.
Because of the salary cap issues with, like, COVID and whatnot, and the salary cap going down. So I'm going to guess it's a similar thing because, obviously, teams didn't have money in the offseason, so they still don't have money. So, they, like, I know the Eagles are shopping Fletcher Cox, and they tried aggressively, apparently, but nobody could afford him. And then Odell, same thing, and I think there was somebody else too where they had a big contract, but teams.
Well, I know the Browns. The Browns came out and said at like 2:00 they were like, "We have no interest in trading Odell." So
they had pretty big discussions with the Saints.
Really?
Yeah, but the Saints couldn't afford him.
That makes sense. I mean, the Saints were one of the people we talked about prior to the season starting who had like the worst salary cap issue.
Yeah.
In regards to just all that and like all the money and
stuff. So my guess is that was the main reason. Like you saw some of the moves are mainly smaller moves, and then like what was the big one the other day?
The biggest one was Von Miller to the Rams. Yeah, I guess, and for a second and a third round pick.
Broncos are paying majority of his remaining salary, which is how the Rams are able to afford it because the Rams have no cap space. But obviously,
and that's probably why they gave him a second and a third.
So yeah, good deal for the Broncos trading away a 30-something-year-old.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously the Rams are making a run for the Super Bowl, so if it works out, it works out. But the NFC is getting tougher and tougher the more we get into the season. I think so.
And I saw someone say how it was one of the main beat reporters for the NFL how like we never got to really see Bradley Chubb and Von Miller because like Bradley Chubb got drafted and started out hot, but I think the next 2 years obviously Von Miller was hurt and Chubb missed most of this year.
Yeah.
So it was really that rookie year, and I think Chubb played like 9 or 10 games his rookie year, and Von Miller the same. So I think they kind of missed like time.
Each other, yeah.
Yeah. So we only got to see him for a few games. It kind of sucks because whenever they've been on the field, they've been good alone. So it's like, fortunately, never got to see the pairing.
That's one of those things.
Especially because like speed versus power. Like Von Miller's fucking quick. He's strong too.
Yeah.
Von Miller's really quick.
He's not just. Actually,
he's mainly quickness off the edge, but then Bradley Chubb's fucking like 270.
Well, now they have speed and power in Aaron Donald and Von Miller. So.
Oh, the Rams, yeah.
Well, Aaron Donald has speed and power, but
yeah.
Real quick, I want to talk about news. Not really. I don't know how to like not in like the. It's in the football world, but it's actually outside of the football world. Henry Ruggs was in a very serious accident. He got charged with a DUI and there was a death along with the accident, which is fucking crazy, dude.
Yeah.
Like, what? Like, completely out of left field.
Yeah,
like,
they said he was showing signs of impairment, so I'm interested to know if that means, like, they could tell he was impaired, like a breathalyzer, or if, like, the way he was acting seemed like he was impaired because if you just got a major accident, maybe you're just kind of freaking out type thing.
Could be anxiety, or it could have been from the crash. His head was not in the right mindset. Yeah. So
a lot of people on Twitter are like immediately crucifying him, and obviously like if you obviously DUI killed somebody, then yeah. But I feel like you can't just do it just yet because we don't know.
Yeah, we don't know the full story. So
if he's being charged with those, so I'm gonna assume they have like some
form of indication.
It was there's an indication that because the report said like. He seemed to be under the influence, which is like...
So, as of right now, it's unfortunate for the Raiders, who looked really good right now. Can't say Ruggs was amazing, but he's super young, and he's very talented.
Yeah,
so
he was a deep threat. He was a guy that you had to respect every game, because it seemed like every couple games he had one of those plays. It was like 60-yard touchdown.
So, not making light of the situation, but I do want to talk a little bit about fantasy. Bryan Edwards is going to step up, and Renfro is probably going to get just a more target share.
I don't think it's gonna be Renfro or Waller. I think it'll be more Bryan Edwards. I don't even know who it's gonna be.
That's what I said. Bryan Edwards first, and then
it'll be the next like outside guy. Yeah, Zay Jones probably gets some more targets. I don't think really Renfro or Waller, because also Ruggs wasn't getting much of a target.
No, he was more. He was a big playmaker.
So it's just like the guy to be afraid of. So.
But it's interesting to see what's going to happen with that. Now, unfortunately, his career right now is probably
likely over.
Yeah,
minimum 2 years in jail, but. That's minimum. So
who knows? So once more reports come out, we might talk about it later in future episodes. But until now, we just got the news that he is charged with a DUI and what was the
DUI resulting in death.
Okay. All right. Well, a little glum start to the episode, but let's talk about Week 8. Week 8 was pretty bad for, I feel like, everybody in our group. And speaking of the group, go join it. I'm not going to go talk too much about that, but it's top of the description. But yeah, the whole group, week 8 was not that great. I mean, so we had 3 people. Ooh. We had 3 people with 9 correct. Tone Home New York was first again. And then we had ESPN fan 22375 352, and then we had another ESPN fan. It was, I mean, obviously I don't know who these people are.
Who they are, so.
But yeah, ESPN fan 619629504. Congrats.
Give yourself a name.
Yeah, seriously, change your name, bro. But anyways, congrats to those 3 top, all tied with 9 points, and then yeah, I was rough for me. I had 6.
Yeah, for the year.
We're actually tied
for the year now. You and Ryan T. You said that's someone you work with.
I don't know actually.
Well, you and Ryan T. are tied for first, and I'm a game behind you guys. Because I have 47.
I feel like you should be the same as us though.
Why?
Because I think remember you said it didn't click or something.
But it was Bills and Titans, and I took the Bills. It was that game.
Oh, okay. So
and
did
the Titans won,
okay,
so I would have gotten a loss.
It would have been a loss anyways. Okay.
Oh yeah, I don't know how it didn't click.
So the wins are still correct as far as
the points are right for me.
Gotcha. All right. So yeah, very rough week as far as pick'em goes.
Yeah, a lot of weird upsets.
Yeah, it was a weird game. So real quick, going over the games last week, we had the Green Bay Packers beating the undefeated Arizona Cardinals. We had the Panthers beating the Falcons. We had the Bills beating the Miami Dolphins. The 49ers beat the Bears. Steelers beat the Browns. The Eagles smoked the Lions. The Titans beat the Colts in overtime. The Jets beat the Bengals. The Rams beat the Texans. The Patriots beat the Chargers. Seahawks beat Jags. Broncos beat Washington. The Saints beat the Buccaneers. The Cowboys beat the Vikings. And the Chiefs ended up winning in that Monday night battle against the Giants, which was a lot closer than it should have been. But, yeah. I mean, Chiefs are kind of in shambles. So, let's move on to top performers, and then we'll get back to games after that. So, first things first, at your quarterback position, we had Mike... Was it Mike? Wait, hold on.
Was he first?
Oh, no, sorry. Josh Allen. Josh Allen with 28.5. Jimmy Garoppolo with 27.3 was your second quarterback. And then third was Mike White of the New York Jets at 26.1 points.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So I was checking something really quick. Oh, it wasn't what I thought. All right, and then for the running backs.
Oh, wow, he had 32 points.
Michael Carter, yeah, he had he had 9 catches on 13 targets, I think. Number 1, Michael Carter from the Jets as well, 32.2 points. Number 2, big drop off. Joe Mixon, 25.1, and then number 3 was Austin Eckler with 24.4.
Felt a familiar name. Okay, moving on to receivers, we had AJ Brown with 31.5. We had Michael Pittman with another big game. He had 30.6. And then Chris Godwin with 28 points. Tight end. Go ahead, brother.
Tight end number 1. Quiet week for tight ends. Only for 20 quiet this time. Yeah. TJ Hawkinson with 18.9. Good to kind of see him getting back into the groove. He had a few off weeks there in the middle. Number 2, Dan Arnold. Dan Arnold starting to show up. I saw some... what did I see? It just reminded me. I'll finish this off first. Number 3 was Pat Freiermuth, who, since Juju's injury, has been used more heavily. Did you see his touchdown?
It was nice. Yeah, it was really good. Catch. Really good catch. Yeah.
I like him going forward.
It was like on the back of the end zone, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then actually, number 5 just got his rookie debut, Brevin Jordan.
Nice.
But no, I saw something that the Cowboys, it was the first time ever that a passer and a receiver had the same first and last name. So Cooper Rush threw to Amari Cooper. So it was the first time that's ever happened. And they also are the only team who last year it was reversed. Who's the quarterback? Andy Dalton threw it to Dalton Schultz.
So such a weird stat.
They are the only team to ever do either one, and they've done them both. Where the
so
last name
weird.
matches the first, and the first matches the last. I
that's
saw that.
Quite
I was
a weird fact.
I agree, but I was like, how has that never happened before?
I mean, I don't know. There's a lot of different names.
No,
in the
I know.
NFL
That's why
sure.
I'm surprised it's never happened.
But
now the Cowboys have done it back-to-back years.
Wow.
So I thought of it because it was like Dan Arnold and Sam Darnold. I don't think they ever scored together,
No,
but like I remember
didn't.
someone saying that, and I was like,
yeah, but it's Darnold and Arnold. So
I know it was just like somebody was like, oh, I really want to see. I really want to see Sam Darnold to Dan Arnold, and then it never happened.
Then he got traded. Yeah. All right, so now we're gonna move on to social media questions. I always ask on my Instagram some questions each week for the Weekly Insider. Last week I just forgot, but I will start doing it now consistently. Go follow my Instagram. It's just @jgardy. And I also, and this is irrelevant, but I post on Facebook too. But that's all. That's mainly family. So, questions I had were, first one, we'll start off with Wayne, a buddy of mine I used to work with and work for. He asked about the Jets and Bengals game and thoughts about like what we thought of the game. I think it was just I don't want to say a fluke, but it was most likely a fluke in my opinion. I don't think the Bengals, people are overreacting saying the Bengals are not as good as they are. It was just a weird game. I wouldn't look too much into it. I still think the Bengals are a playoff contender.
Yeah, for sure.
And the Jets it was like one of those things. It's at any given Sunday, you know?
Yeah, I mean, the Bengals aren't as good a team as they showed 2 weeks ago when they absolutely demolished the Ravens, but they're not as bad a team as they showed last week. So
exactly. So
I mean,
you're going to get that.
Like every team, I mean, matchups and just bounces of the ball and everything like that, you just never know how games are going to end up. So like I guess kind of like you said, like any given Sunday, especially because the Jets' biggest strength is their D-line, especially with Robert Saleh. That was he was known for in the 49ers, how creative they were on their D-line. So that's probably the best asset the Jets have at this point. And obviously the Bengals' weakest point is their O-line.
Yep.
So obviously it was the offense for the Jets that was the big surprise. But,
just a good game plan too. So.
Yeah. So I mean, it happens. There's a reason teams don't go undefeated all the time.
Yeah.
Teams are going to lose games. I think the Jets have now beaten the Titans too. Yeah, they did beat the Titans too.
So the Jets are better than the Titans and the Bengals. 100%.
Yeah, the Jets are basically going to the Super Bowl this year.
For sure. All right. But that's actually a good segue into our next one. A buddy of mine asked, why are the Titans better than the Bills? Well, to answer that question, you'd have to indicate that the Bills are in fact worse than the Titans, which they're not. So, can't answer that question for you. The Bills are definitely better than the Titans.
I don't think there's a single thing. Well, running, but not without Derrick Henry. Probably.
Yeah, without Derrick
Henry. I don't think there's a single thing the Titans do better than the Bills.
No, sorry. Yeah.
Maybe get after the pass rusher because Landry and Bud Dupree are a damn good combo.
Yeah.
But the Bills are really creative.
Bills' defensive front's been playing really well this year too. So, yeah, and they did lose to the Titans, but again, you could go back and look at that game. There's a lot of things that
Titans do have the better number one receiver though.
They do. A.J. Brown. That guy's a beast.
Diggs is better, but I love A.J. Brown.
But so yeah, next. Came and asked, what does it mean for the Cowboys that they beat Minnesota without their starting quarterback? I just think it means the Cowboys are just a legit team this year. I think they're very good playoff contender this year. I really don't know if I can say that they're a Super Bowl contending team because I think their defense still isn't to me like that amazing.
Right,
but they've been playing well. That's
the
problem.
You don't need to have a great defense. You don't need to be great on
Not
both
anymore.
sides of the ball. Well, even so, you've never needed to be great on both sides of the ball. Like the Cowboys, obviously, when Dak is back, will have a fantastic offense, and they have a good enough defense. So it's not going to be like something where I'm trying to think of team like we're obviously right now. Well, even the Chiefs' offense is struggling, but there's teams every year where it's like the offense is really good, like the Seahawks usually, the offense is really good. Last couple years at least, defense is like bad, and that's that's going to kill them type thing. Or like Washington last year, the defense was really good, but the offense couldn't carry them enough.
Yep.
So it's the Cowboys' defense isn't great by any means. It's solid though, but it's not going to be like a reason it's like, damn, they couldn't win because of their defense.
Yep.
So their offense is, I think they can honestly compete for a Super Bowl. Yeah. Because their offense is going to be able to put up 30 a game. But I think the loss or the win for them this week was more indicative of just kind of like the Vikings having a bad game.
Yeah, the Vikings are just, I don't know what's going on. That's 2 back-to-back losses, I believe.
And they just lost Danielle Hunter for the year too.
Yeah, it's rough for them.
Top pass rusher. But it was more of the offense because it's not like the Cowboys' defense.
Yeah, Kirk Cousins played terribly. And dude, the prime time Kirk Cousins is just not something you need to avoid.
Mm-hmm.
So then we'll go on to, we'll brush upon your question, but I have to like kind of get the stipulations with it. But Brian asked the best division in the NFL right now. I think it's either the NFC West still or the AFC North, to be honest. Because you got the Ravens, Bengals, and Steelers who have been playing relatively well.
I think what the other one was.
And the Browns, but like the Browns have That's like that division. It could be a toss up to anybody right now.
I'm gonna go
especially with the loss to the Bengals just now to the Jets. So everyone's within a game or two, I believe.
I think that's the deepest division, but I'll say the best division is still the NFC West, just because I think the Rams and Cardinals are probably two of the top 3 or 4
and that's exactly
Super Bowl
what
competitors.
That's exactly.
So I'll say that's the best one, but the deepest one is probably, like you said, the
AFC North.
AFC North, because not any of those 4 teams I could see
could make the playoffs. Yeah.
AFC West deserves a shout out too, just because Chargers, Chiefs, and Raiders are all still very good. Well, Chiefs are really looking odd, but I feel like at some point they got to figure it out.
The Chiefs,
and then Broncos are just. I mean, they could beat anybody any week just because they're all right.
They have the potential. They have the potential.
They have a solid roster, but they're not a Super Bowl threat by any means.
I don't think so.
But I'll give it to NFC West. But
the playoff picture in the AFC is going to be interesting, though. I think because there's obviously you have your teams that are they're going to make it probably without a doubt. But there's a lot, like we just said, the 2 divisions are super close. So that wild card spot, it's gonna be interesting to see who can pull it out.
Yeah, I know. And I saw someone's power rankings. They only had one AFC team in the top 6.
Bills.
The Bills, yeah. Because it was like the Titans. Well, this was before the Titans had lost Derrick Henry. The news came out.
Yeah.
So it was just like the Titans. They're good, but like they're not a team that scares you. Kind of like some of those teams, like the Packers, the Rams, the Cardinals, the Bucks.
Yep.
And I forget who the other one was.
Saints.
The Cowboys, honestly. The Cowboys was the other one. Without Jameis.
Oh, without Jameis, yeah. The GOAT.
So then, obviously, like the Browns are showing their issues. The Ravens just got trounced, or whatever it is, destroyed by the Bengals. So it's, I don't know.
Yeah.
The AFC is just kind of like, each team is, you just don't feel like safe with them versus the NFC. There's a lot of teams that's like, this is a good team.
Definitely interesting. But, so, before we move on to key performances, you said who would we want to start non-quarterback a franchise with?
Yeah, so if you were starting your franchise tomorrow with any player that aside from a quarterback.
Yeah, aside from quarterback.
Who would it be? Like
now, no injuries. They're the same age, right? We're not going back in time and picking their prime.
From starting tomorrow.
Najee Harris.
Are you serious?
100%.
You're taking a running back?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Oh Jesus.
Non-quarterback position?
Yeah.
What next best would be a running back? I feel.
Not even close. Running back's one of
the
Who would you
take? A wide receiver, AJ Brown?
No, I'm taking either Aaron Donald or Myles Garrett.
Oh, you take defense, really?
Defensive pass rush is probably the second. Oh, I considered like offensive line, but
okay. Listen, I'm be honest. I don't know a single lineman, so.
I was gonna say I don't know if there's any like young top offensive lineman right now, like Quentin Nelson, obviously, but at the end of the day, guard is less important than tackle. There's Wirfs for the Buccaneers, who had a great rookie year last year, but like he's on the right side, which is a little less important than the left. So to me, it's Myles Garrett or Aaron Donald because they're defensive player of the year. So it's
How old are they? How old are Aaron Donald?
I want to see Donald's around 30, which is why I'm probably leaning Myles Garrett.
Yeah,
TJ Watt deserves a shout out too. I just think those two guys are a little better.
I think
Donald's
Garrett's
definitely better than TJ Watt. Except Aaron
I think Myles Garrett's even way better too.
I don't know if he's way better because TJ Watt's damn good too.
He's fast, dude.
But I lean Myles Garrett over running back. Bro,
I like Najee Harris. This guy is nasty.
Yeah, I like Najee Harris, but like look what happens to McCaffrey. Yeah, he's good, but look what happens to McCaffrey. Derrick Henry's now hurt, and he never gets hurt.
I know that's the wildest thing.
Kamara, honestly, knock on wood, hasn't really been hurt much. I cannot believe
Kamara's never been hurt.
So like every running backs are just.
I know, but impossible. Dude, Najee Harris is so.
And they also have a short career.
They do.
Like 8 years.
Yeah, they're short. They're the shortest career in the NFL. Comparatively.
I personally would be going with.
That's obviously a good choice. Maybe I might pick Ramsey.
You could go Ramsey. I prefer
I would
pass rush over coverage. You can only cover for so long, but
no, I know.
Pass rush also helps on defense or against the run.
Okay, all right. So leave a comment below on who you would take non-quarterback position. But let's move on to key performances. I have just a few, and I'm gonna go over this briefly to keep the episode a little shorter, and then we can move on to so we can film the picks for tomorrow. Key performances for me, 3 of them. Do you want to go first? I'm just gonna brush on mine real quick.
No, you can go.
Mike White,
yeah,
Geno Smith, and it was another quarterback, Trevor Siemian. Both. Trevor Siemian came in obviously I think it was it the first half?
I don't know,
but he came in support of or in relief of Jameis Winston. Trevor Siemian played really well. He wasn't amazing by any means, but he got the job done. They ended up winning the game.
Siemian over Cooper Rush?
Or that's who it was, too.
I was going to say, Sammy didn't do that much.
All right, whatever. Cooper Rush, too. Honestly, there's a bunch of quarterbacks that we didn't expect to do really well in Week 8, and they did well.
Mm-hmm.
Mike White, 405 yards passing. Yeah. Unbelievable. Who was the second? Geno Smith got the W. Granted, it was against the Jacksonville Jaguars, but he looked sharp. Mm-hmm. He made Metcalf and Lockett look like superstars, like they are.
Yeah.
And then Cooper Rush, winning it in prime time. First ever NFL start against Minnesota in Sunday Night Football, keeping the Dallas Cowboys very comfortably sitting in first place in that division. So, shout out to all those quarterbacks. It's very interesting this week. We had 4 quarterbacks who were backups, basically.
3.5.
3.5.
Sibian. Man, this is a tough one. I'm gonna go with. So I'm gonna go with this guy just because. I don't know. His numbers are pretty damn good. I'm gonna go with Elijah Mitchell this week. 18 for 137 this week and a touchdown. I think 3 different times. I think I get alerted for a big play if it's a 20-yard run or more. Mm-hmm. I think I got 3 of them this week by him. So I think he had a 45-yarder, a 20, and a 25 or something like that. Mm-hmm. So I mean, a 6-round pick. They picked another guy 3 rounds ahead of him. They traded up to pick that guy.
And that guy is buried in the depth chart, dude.
And Elijah Mitchell, he's basically just Raheem Mostert 2.0. Hopefully he can stay healthy, though. Mm-hmm. 4.3 speed. And obviously Shanahan loves the guy. Last week he averaged 6 yards a carry. This week 7.6. I saw he's fourth in the league in yards per game.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna give it to Elijah Mitchell. I mean, because that offensive line isn't great. Kittle's out, which obviously is big hindrance. Yeah. Just because he's such a good run blocker.
He's a really good run blocker. Yeah.
Still got Juszczyk, obviously, but there's a lot. There wasn't like a great ton of big games. I was trying to look for a defensive guy, but nobody.
Like I said, the quarterbacks, man.
Yeah, Mike White was obviously the main one.
That's crazy.
But yeah, Elijah Mitchell, 18 for 137 and a touchdown against Bears defense, which didn't have Klumack, but still Bears defense. Yeah. So.
But all right, that was our key performances of the week. Let us know in the comments below as well who you thought did a great job this week. Even defensive players. I mentioned defensive player once. It was when Bobby Wagner almost had like the tackling record or something like that. But yeah, let us know, and don't forget, drop a like, subscribe for more. Post 2 videos a week. Today's Wednesday, so we will obviously see you tomorrow for our picks. And don't forget to join the Pick'em League as well if you're interested in doing that. It's completely free, top of the description. But nonetheless, thank you for watching, and we will see you tomorrow morning for our picks. Peace.